What if I told you that there was a player out there that could be available for on the cheaper end that could help transform the Atlanta Falcons pass rush overnight? That player is a born and proven winner, and he has a Super Bowl. Now, I also will say he may be a little old, and he may be suspended right now. But that's beside the fact. The Atlanta Falcons need to figure out a way to acquire Von Miller on their team. Now, there's going to be a lot of people in the comments. We don't need him. He's not a good locker room guy. This, that, and the other. But I will say this. He fixes a large, not fixes. He helps improve a large issue that the Atlanta Falcons have had for the last 4 or 5 years, and that's pass rush. We've seen it today as the Atlanta Falcons, or this was actually yesterday, or whatever day it is, as they recently got defeated by the Seattle Seahawks. It just wasn't a good game. But also, I would say Geno Smith had a great game because, for the most part, he was back there playing patty cake and finding the open receiver. And this tends to haunt the Atlanta Falcons because they can't or do not, or they just don't rush the passer that well. Now, on to Von Miller. What can he bring? And there's going to be people in the comments saying he's a terrible player, terrible locker room guy. And I agree. He's not the best fit from a locker room perspective for the Atlanta Falcons. But he does help address a large need. Von Miller this year, in the 3 games he's played, he's had 3 sacks. He's had a sack for every game he's played. He's on pace to be around the, obviously, 17 sacks this season. He won't get there. I think he'd be on pace for 13 or 14. But wouldn't the Atlanta Falcons like to have a 1 additional sack per game? That would help out a lot. I also think it would help free Matthew Judon out a lot because he's not been living up to that contract that he expected, and a lot of people thought they would have to pay him in the future. So that would help Matthew Judon out. Now, why Von Miller? Like I said, he's a sack artist. He can give you immediate pressure to a team that needs immediate pressure. Not only is he a sack guy, he has 3 tackles for loss on the season, and he has 4 quarterback pressures on the season as well. He knows how to get in the backfield and affect the quarterback. And that's been seen not only this year, not in the last few seasons, but over a 10-season span. He still continues to figure out a way to get in the backfield. Now, what would it cost from a draft capital / salary cap expectation? So I think Von Miller's cap hit this year is around $15 million. Within the draft, I'm not 100% sure how this goes, but if you trade for him, I think obviously Buffalo would pay some of that. I'm not sure. But I would probably expect the Atlanta Falcons to absorb maybe a $10 to $12 million cap hit, which they'd have space for. So that's really not an issue. In regards to draft compensation, I don't think the Buffalo Bills are going to be greedy, especially in a point now where they're starting to get rolling. I think they will probably expect maybe a fifth rounder for Von Miller, which is something that when we are the Atlanta Falcons, when we see that we're struggling rushing the passer, I think that's something that we may need to give up to improve the pass rush. And I think that's not that unreasonable to give a 5th round pick for Von Miller, who can get you an additional 6, 7, 8, 9 sacks the rest of the season. Now, from a locker room perspective, I know he is currently suspended for violating NFL conduct policy, but he will be back in a couple games. I think he's back next week or maybe the week after. At the end of the day, good, bad, or ugly, Von Miller, and I'm not excusing for his off the field, whatever he's doing off the field, but he can benefit and he can help the Atlanta Falcons rushing the passer. And he is a guy who still at his age of 35 years old can get in the backfield, and that's something that the Atlanta Falcons to this point have not figured out for whatever reason. So, if I'm Terry Fontenot, I'm at least knocking on the door. I'm at least seeing what's going on. What will it take to maybe get him to the Atlanta Falcons? Because this is something that needs to be addressed. We just can't keep kicking the can down the road. And I know we got Matthew Judon, and we thought that would help out, but apparently it's not. So we need to address this. And I believe Von Miller is not only a key to addressing it for now, but it will help other players continue to develop while we try to build this team for the future. Now, if you agree or disagree with me, please do me a favor. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out here where I talk about another individual who could immediately help this defense out in terms of their pass rush. But like always, peace.